now in this section, we already you already took the quizzes. I already gave you an explanation of those, and now we're going to have a discussion in the class. And to do that, I want that you go after in the to do section in the to do during class, and after the quizzes, you will find the information for the group discussion, and we will talk about this as science communication. So we will try, we generally talk about these concepts, that these steps. However, one thing that is very important is to communicate science, and not only is wonderful if we find that, for example, we make a connection between smoking and cancer. But if we are not able to communicate that if people keep smoking, they can develop cancer after 20 years. Uh, People will keep smoking. We have to be able to communicate all this information to all the society to make changes. And this is one important section of the chapter if you read that section of the textbook. As I said, there is an online version that have some sections. So if you don't buy the book, you can watch it there. And I will also add some chapters of the book and tell you which sections you have to read in case that you didn't buy the book. And one important section is this one that, as I said, is very important to use different ways to communicate science. And right now, the best example of that is with vaccination. We can we can have huge discoveries. If you have here, I know that you have here about the Spanish flu, and that millions of people died, and that it was too difficult, that we didn't know that the what it was DNA. We didn't have good microscope. We didn't have fluorescent proteins to study that. We have so many problems. There was uh, the first World War. So many problems, and so millions of people died. Now we were able for this pandemic to develop a vaccine so fast because we have so many discoveries, because we have so many people infected right now that it was very easy to test that that vaccine was not dangerous. So we did that in a record time. However, ironically, now the most difficult thing is not to make to have a vaccine available. The real problem right now is to convince people that they have to vaccinate. And why? Because we miss this very important part, that we need to not only to test hypothesis, but also to communicate that to the community, and to make sure that the vaccine is very important. So science communication, if you watch the videos, you see that guy when he was very young, much younger, and he's one of the best science communicators. And if you know this guy, he's also a great science communicator. Science communication is the practice of informing and educating and raising awareness of science-related topics. And for example, vaccination is fundamental. Climate change, and anyway, so many important topics right now. Even that the Earth is not flat, that something that we are going. It seems that in some degree we are going back to the past. But anyway, so science and communication is very important. And so the idea also is to increase the sense of wonder about scientific discoveries and arguments. Mm, um, these are we today we hoped to address some of those one. For example, these anti-vax that are dangerous conspiracy theories. Later, we will talk about how Greek, just with geometry, they were able 2,000 years ago to show that the Earth was not flat, but still, some people, because of internet, let's say, and so they believe that the Earth is flat, but this is not true. And another example, hopefully, this guy is gone and he cannot become president again, but we will see what happens. Also, the problems are we will talk a little bit about intelligent design. There are so many conspiracy theories right now, and unfortunately, we cannot talk about all of them today. But we are going to talk about this one, the anti-vaccination. And to do that, I'm going to show you two ways that we are talking about that. One that is a very scientific way. So I'm going to show you, this is one of the main papers of the world, scientific journals. And he talked about 4 vaccine myth. And in groups, you have to read it and talk about that. And they describe where this conspiracy came from, and if they are true or not, and how many times they have tested. So this is a very scientific one, yeah, a very professional way to do that. However, as you know, there is not this reach only few people. There are different ways to reach different type of people. So in addition to that, a different way to reach other audience is using different media. So for example, from newspaper, from television, the radio, and internet is becoming more and more important. So maybe you know this guy, Dr. Fauci. He has been trying to communicate with, so for example, the basketball players. Very important because everybody loves basketball. You will see here YouTubers, and we will talk about how Dr. Fauci answers some of those questions about vaccine that we all have. And maybe one of the most famous one is this guy, Dr. Mike, that maybe some of you know. Oh, uh, and I think many women love this guy, and this is one of the most famous doctors. And I think what Dr. Fauci is doing is trying to make science all this the importance of the vaccine and reach as much people as possible. Okay, so first thing that you have to do is go here to and and answer some of these questions. Again, you have multiple attempts. You have 10 minutes. If you know the answer says okay, you can take it again and again. And later in groups, you have to discuss some of these questions. You can read some of these. You can read some of this paper, and you can also watch these clips to try to answer those questions. And you will find this article, as I said here. You will find a video clip they edit from John Oliver. They talk about vaccines, and also some small videos they edit about the questions that Dr. Fauci has answered. And these are some of the questions that you have to answer. There is a file there that you can answer, and these are the same questions that are in your quiz. And very important, at the end, individually, I want that you upload the answers of what you answer of some of these questions. Yeah, please so answer those questions, and in that way I know that you pay attention to class and that you attend to class. Okay, so individually, not one per group, only one per person. And now, next class, you have 3 small topics. Yeah, so 1 about selective breeding, and 2 about Greek philosophers. I divided it into 2, and they are very short. And remember, this time this is just history. So you will have only 1 attempt for the test, for the quiz. So here again will be the video lectures. Here you have video lectures, and here you can study for the quiz. Here and here you will have to make your summary, and the same thing in the other ones. Video lectures, videos and video lectures. Here questions for the quiz, and here you will find your summaries. And remember, in class we will do exactly the same thing, and we will take quizzes. These will be the quizzes that we will take next week. And if you have any doubt, just let me know, and I will answer it as soon as possible. Or if you have any question, you can send me an email. Have a good day, and I hope that everything was clear today.